Happy birthday, Linda, and we are honored that you're here to spend it taking care of business. Tell me, what are you doing out here?
Well, like I say, it's my birthday, and I just feel like this is kind of a present to myself to be able to stand up for women. And I also just had my third granddaughter born.
Congratulations!
Yes, and I have two other granddaughters, so I have three granddaughters, and I'm standing up for them and their rights to decide what they're going to do with their own bodies.
Well, why don't you sanction all grandmothers out there to get out here with us?
That's right, grandmothers. Come on, stand up for your daughters and granddaughters, and great-granddaughters.
Thank you very much, Linda. Yeah. Valerie, you had a great story that pretty much, in my opinion, showed the insensitivity of many of my persuasion males. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, I had breakfast yesterday morning with two older white men. And we got a little bit into it, but it was a business situation, and I understood quickly, you know, not to go too far. But I guess it's bothered me ever since, because the one gentleman said he didn't understand, he didn't see any reason for insurance to cover contraception for females. And I said, well, it covers Viagra. And he said, yeah, but that's for a medical condition. And I said, well, a lot of women need contraception for a medical condition as well, but actually Viagra doesn't address a medical condition. If you need Viagra, you've got another problem, and it's a circulatory problem, and it doesn't fix that. But it was just the idea that it's okay for them. They can get whatever they want. They can redefine rape so that it's okay for some reason, and that it's all women's fault. And I don't know, it just bothered me ever since.
Now,
what to say about it.
Don't you also see the hypocrisy?
That it's okay to cover vasectomies, it's okay to cover Viagra, but it's not okay for women to be now, especially like in the state of Texas, it's going to be harder for poor women anyway to have well checks and, pap smears and breast cancer screenings because they're taking funding away, and it just makes no sense, and I don't understand it, and it bothers me, and I don't know what else to say about it.
Well, I think what you're doing about it is exactly what needs to be done about it, and that is to speak up, stand up, and make your voice heard.
That's true.
Thank you very much.
I feel better when I come here.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Jimmy, you were telling me something about a bill I wasn't aware of that TEDPO is a co-sponsor on?
Yes, and let me just say this. While I appreciate the fact that TEDPO has been an advocate of victims' rights, including violence against women, he's recently co-sponsored a bill in the House which has passed. It would then go to the Senate, House Resolution 358, which allows hospitals not only to deny providing life-threatening abortions to women, but would also deny them any responsibility of referring those to a healthcare facility that would stabilize and save that woman's life, and that is
immoral.
All right. Okay, I'm going to make a brief comment about the 47% because there are so many things you can say about this, but essentially I saw something this past week that really rang true. Tax breaks for low-income workers are really subsidies for corporate America who want living workers but don't want to pay living wages. And this is so true. If we can't pay people in the United States a living wage, then how can we expect them to live? So that's all I'm going to say.
Tara, how you doing?
Good.
You actually told me something that was pretty interesting about the wealthy versus the unwealthy. Talk to me about it.
Well, I was just saying, it's not even wealthy versus unwealthy, it's just people in general. If all the land is owned, if all the resources are owned, somebody owns the water, somebody owns the oil, the gas, how are the people that don't have access to those supposed to pull themselves up by the bootstraps? Because, they have to have a permit to go fishing, and they can't go fishing because the lake's owned, or they have to have the money to have the permit to go fishing, or they can't plant gardens because they don't have yards, and it just, it kind of seems like an illogical argument.
Professor Davis, let me have it.
I want to talk about how the news was reported this week that the 400 wealthiest Americans own 1/8 of the nation's net worth. And that, frankly, is just obscene, that there would be that kind of maldistribution of wealth and that kind of concentration at the top with all it implies in the corruption of our politics that follows. Now, in the meantime, Obama got called on the carpet. Romney, of course, had a very bad week. Republicans try to resurrect stuff about Obama being a redistributionist. He has used that word, and he is moderately for redistribution. He says it so everybody can have a shot, which is just a classic liberal doctrine of equality of opportunity. There's nothing wrong with that. But I'd go further and say we need a radical redistribution. We need to take it away, some of these ill-gotten gains, use it to have a full employment economy. People can have a good life and a living wage, and it's just, again, a morally objectionable outcome that we have a handful of people have way more than they ever need, or way more than they ever really could rightfully have earned. That's my take from it.
Thank you very much, Professor. Dr. Tice, I normally ask you what's the message of the day, but today I'm going to ask you a specific message. Tell me about the 47%.
Well, 2/3 of the 47%, or I think it may be 60%, actually have jobs and work, full-time or more. Most of them, however, making minimum wage, so they don't meet federal poverty front guidelines, and thus don't have to pay taxes. Most of the rest are senior citizens that are retired collecting Social Security. And because of the way the code was written by, in fact, Ronald Reagan, a Republican, they don't have to pay taxes on most of their Social Security income. The last group are people that are unemployed or on welfare, etc. They don't pay taxes. However, I would like to point out, all those people that don't pay those taxes actually only don't pay income taxes. Every single person that's working, that's 60%, pay payroll taxes. The senior citizens pay payroll taxes their entire working life. The other thing to remember is every single one of those people pay sales taxes when they spend their money. In Texas, the bottom 20% of income earners pay 12% of their income in state and local taxes. That's property taxes, sales taxes, excise taxes. The top 20% pay 3% of their income in state and local taxes. So yes, the federal income tax code is progressive, but every other tax we have in this country is regressive, and the net total averages out to nearly a flat rate. For the top 60%, the bottom 40% pay somewhere around 16 to 17% on average in taxes, all taxes.
Thank you very much, sir.
You're welcome.